10 days before the Iowa caucuses, one of America's leading conservative voices launching a blistering assault on Donald Trump. The latest cover of National Review says it all. Quote, against Trump, in an issue devoted entirely to taking on the Donald. The magazine, with essays by nearly 24 prominent conservative thinkers, unleashing a torrent of criticism on the Republican frontrunner, with words and phrases like charlatan, wannabe, astoundingly ignorant, and menace to American conservatives. On the Kelly File, National Review editor Rich Lowry questioning Trump's conservative bona fides, saying that he's been on the wrong side of the issues held dear by so many on the right.
If you're truly a conservative, you have a consistent record. We all change our minds on a few things every now and then when the facts change, but he has been on the other side on big, hot-button, defining issues like abortion, gun control, taxes, and even immigration.
Well, as for Trump, he's not only blasting the magazine, he insists the Republican establishment and many conservatives are now rallying to his side.
I think they're warming up. I want to be honest. I have received so many phone calls from people that you would call establishment, from people generally speaking, conservatives, Republicans, that want to come onto our team. I'm way up in every poll. So we are getting calls from everybody that it's actually amazing. I'm actually surprised.
All right, so this is the big political story of the day, Peter Johnson, Jr.
It is.
What do you think of National Review's stunning rebuke, and will it have any effect?
I think it's a hit job. I think it's a put-up job. I don't have any sense of credibility about it. Some of the folks have had grudges between Donald Trump and themselves. In fact, Rich Lowry, they've been in a tweeting contest back and forth for a week or so back in September, where they were calling each other incompetent, and then Rich Lowry said something unrepeatable on the air about Donald Trump, so there's bad blood there. But somehow these folks are supposed to be immune or above the political fray. This is a totally political statement that they are making. They don't like Donald Trump, and they want the world to understand that and to believe it and to follow them. The truth is, a lot of Americans don't know who National Review is. Right. So I think the impact is going to be Zippo, zero. We'll talk about it today. Tomorrow there'll be a snowstorm, and it will be done. Now, whether Donald Trump wins or doesn't win in these two states upcoming is a different issue. But in terms of their effect, a lot of fury, a little bit of sound, but not much effect, in my view.
It is like a Hail Mary, Harris, and I have such tremendous respect for the people on that cover, the names.
Well, Rich Lowry sat here last week.
Tremendous respect. But as a conservative, as someone who considers himself deeply conservative, I've seen this battle play out. They would have more credibility at National Review, in my estimation, if they would fire at the reason that Trump is rising. And that reason, Harris, is that so many people feel that the establishment, that the Bush big spending nation building era ran it into the ground. National Review should take its fire and direct it at those folks, not Donald Trump.
Well, to take it further, look at how much power Republicans have had in the House and bicamerally now in Congress over the past couple of years with big wins. And where did they take that power? What have they done with that? That's one of the reasons why voters are so angry. These words should disturb every American. He is not deserving of conservative support in the caucuses and primaries. Whose job of it is it to decide who gets to be where? It's the voters who decide. It's not any particular party. That's offensive on its face. And we love Rich Lowry. We do. But it's up to the voters. It's not up to him. It's not up to anybody else. They can write about what they want to write about. But if I were part of the establishment, I would walk as far away from this article, from this magazine, as possible if I wanted ever to gain the respect of those people who call themselves the voters. They hold the power.
You know, Stacey, some of the bedwetters in the establishment, I know that they've deeply believed...
all the bedwetters.
Yeah. Some of them are. I mean, they believe, Stacey, that they can build a coalition with millennial women, Latinos. But what you're seeing is Trump is garnering support from blue-collar voters. Right. The crossover appeal could be huge. Building a coalition, potentially even African Americans, with his stance on immigration. He is more conservative than so many other candidates on issues like immigration.
He's more conservative and he's anti-establishment, which is what we want. and which I believe William F. Buckley was anti-establishment when he started the National Review. So I don't understand their argument at all. And he is conservative. And what, you're not allowed to change your mind? I think you are allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to change your mind and then understand that he wants to make America great. Whatever it takes to do that, he wants to do that, and he's the man to do that. He's the man with the Rolodex to do that. He's the man with the power to do that, and he's the man who knows how to make deals. So he's the man to get people to cross the aisle and come to and close the deals.
Melissa, the rebuttal to National Review is in the Week today by a man named Brendan Doherty. He quotes Samuel Francis, no relation to you, I suspect, who gave Pat Buchanan this specific advice in 1996. Here's what he writes today. What so frightens the conservative movement about Trump's success is that he reveals just how thin the support for their ideas really is. His campaign is a rebuke to their institutions. It says the Republican Party doesn't need all these think tanks, all this supposed policy expertise. It says, look at these people calling themselves libertarians and conservatives, the ones in tassel loafers and bow ties. Have they made you more free? Have their endless policy papers and studies and books conserved anything for you? These people are worthless. They are defunct. You don't need them, and you're better off without them.
Yeah.
That is the message Buchanan didn't take. Trump is taking it, and that is the counterpunch to National Review.
I think it's really interesting. I mean, a lot more people will hear about the coverage of the article than will actually read it, because unfortunately, I mean, that's one of the criticisms that was true from Trump, unfortunately, is that many people don't actually read the National Review. I think that the rebuke actually helps him, in my opinion, because it ups his rebel cred. You know, I mean, he says that he's not part of what's been here before. He's different. The fact that folks from the right are attacking him, I think, helps him with people that he's trying to win over. I think, and you know, like you said, Rich Larry, very smart guy. We love him. He's been on the couch with us, but he says the choice is clear, anybody but Trump. No, not anybody but Trump. People on the right are saying, I don't want Hillary. I want someone who can win. And also, Brent Bozell said earlier today on our air, you know, that the right is supporting him because they can control him. No, they resisted him for a long time. Yeah. They're only supporting him now at the very last minute because they think he can win.
Well, you mean since yesterday with Bob Dole. I mean, that is the very last
Peter, so many Republicans have never even met a blue-collar worker unless they were over to fix their jacuzzi. Trump is tapping into something much different than that.
Absolutely right. You have it on the head. It's the end of the elites. That's what Donald Trump has tapped into. They said the elites have screwed this country up enough, left and right. Let's have somebody who can do something effectively.
Democrats better be watching, because